Right, welcome back to Nightingale's Motorcycling Restorers and Metal Finishers. Right, we're going to catch up on a few bits what's just been happening. We've had a few frames go out this week, powder coating. That's all zinced and then top coated. They've been good. Not gone through it because it's not particularly special what I've done, but I thought I'd show you a few bits what we're going to come on, like onto which the next video. And really, I did mention these in the past. These are my carburetors off my CBX 1000 6-cylinder. So I'm going to start on these next week because we've taken these off. We're on a bit of an engine fix with this bike. So it's a good time as you look. Like you keep your carbs, obviously the side ones are always immaculate, but on the CBXs, they just get a little bit down. So what I'm going to do is, I'll take the float balls off, take the tops off, diaphragms out, and ultrasonic them, 6,000 watt ultrasonic, looking at everything, the cables, things you don't really see. You know, the bike's immaculate, but it's this hidden way, so it's time to just to observe it and just say, look, there's a few, so I've got to send some cables for it. So my idea is I'm going to vapor blast the ends. I'm going to blast these back, not blast, we're going to do it with 5 medias, you know I don't like the word blast. And then I'm going to sizzle finish these on the Canning's polishing machine and give them a satin lacquer on the top. So they're next week, but we are onto it. If it's on this bench, it's coming through. And while I'm on with it, if you're into your fork legs or restoration, a lot of questions I get asked is what type of finishes, because you can have repairs, which is big gouges, taken back, as you might have seen some of my videos. You can have then blasted back, ready for you to paint, or me to paint with a ceramic coating. Occasionally people like powder coating on fork legs. Or you can have the salt erosion taken off, with the lacquer's got under the lacquer. And you can have this sizzle finish put back on, like original factory banding. Or you can just have them vapor blasted. So there's loads of choices. So what I thought I'd do is there's two sets of legs. I'll put them on the next video, so if you're into restoration or you want some ideas, even if it's a bobber, a custom bike, you're thinking of doing something, or you want original factory, so sizzle banding, dull, ordinary blasting, ready for you to paint, or we'll do a little bit of show polishing on the same legs, so you'll get an idea with them. So a few heads in to do the usual work to here, down here. And you're going to see that we're doing this 50-50. So the idea of 50-50 is we're going to show it vapor blasted, and it's going on a display counter for somebody. I do this for some dealers or people who send work to me, and then the customers coming in the workshop can see what vapor is. So it'll be degreased, ultra fine, and then an oxide blaster, so ultra fine. If it's under the usual circumstances when it's the customers, all this will be done with soda, water soluble, as well as the underneath, anything on the valves, all this side's done with soda. No, not even light oxide. Full soda on faces, valve stems or anything in here, and then vapor blasted. So yeah, after it's been masked off a little bit. So that's, might show you a picture of that when it's finished. So what I thought we'd do, we've got a few things now. This is a good one because a lot of the trials bike frames, as you know, the twin shock frames, we modify them to bring the footrest back, and we alter head angles, as you'll see in a minute. This is a customer who's I powder coated the frame several months ago. He's made a fantastic job of putting the bike together, and he's put some footrest extenders on it. He's dropped it on a rock and it snapped the frame. So I'll tell you about that in a minute, and we'll go and have a look at that. I'm going to show you a frame I've just done, and I'll be powder coating it today, zinking it first, so I'll do some videos on that. And then the last thing I've got in is a little chopper motor push bike, Raleigh chopper, which we get quite a few of them vintage bikes in, and we're taking the layers of paint off it, but it also had a nasty bend, 10-12 mil out on the fork leg. So I've got that overnight been straightening and clamped up, so we'll see where we are with it. So we're going to have a look at the bench and show you this frame of a TLR 200 trials bike. So we'll go first to this little Raleigh chopper push bike. Obviously the collectibles now, I think this one's going to be finally painted in yellow. What I've done with this, I've blasted this back, again the word blasting I don't like, super light oxide. So it's beautiful, it's no indentation, but the trouble we had was, on the wheelbase, here was the fork leg. So what I've done overnight is I've just clamped her up, put a bit of warmth on it, and that's what I was at. So that's where I was at. So when I put this into this, I've got it in now. The idea of leaving it overnight, they're very springy these, and I didn't want to crack anything because it had bent from here. So I'm just going to take this off now and have a quick look. As I said, the wheel wouldn't even go through. So I'm looking for what? So I can say I haven't had a spring back off that. So we'll just see where this is at now. Yeah, perfect. So now special, just brought her back in without, you know, excessive heat, a little bit of time, and that's fitted straight back in that fork legs. So yeah, again, that's blasted back. If we go over to the cabinet, I'll show you the bike frame in the cabinet now, and I've started blasting it, but I will do a drop down picture of when it's finished, so we'll go and have a quick peep at that now. Right, it's nearly there. It's the last little bits to take off it. Obviously this was a red one, but again, ultra smooth, ultra fine, and everything's nice and straight on it. So I'll do a drop down. I'm just going to finish that off, that last bit. You can see all the nice brazing and everything, and just a little bit of red to get off it still. So I'll do a drop down. Again, very collectible, again with ultra fine medium. That's a lovely finish, fantastic. So right, we'll go on to this TLR 200 frame, which has got serious problems. So we'll move over to the other bench. Right, so bit of a sad one this in a way, because this customer, I powder coated this frame, zinced it and powder coated, belt sanded it on. And what happens was, a lot of people, when they're putting the bikes back together, they might not want one of the other services, which when you look at headstocks and when we're moving them on the angle, you'll hear a trail rake and all that, and then the footrest modifications. Now the issue, there was no issue with this, so it was a standard frame with no modification, but money, when you start altering things again, comes into it. Now we only do, and at the moment we're not doing any because we're fully maxed up with them of the frames, but when we alter the frames, when you get your original TLR look and your footrest, obviously we're trying to position them like we do when we move them back. So if people can't go for this service, then these companies selling a bolt-on plate which bolts on here, which brings your footrest back, and it obviously you're balancing your set up more to make it more like a modern bike. So what actually happened, this customer bought one of these sets, which I also told him about, and I didn't really see such a problem, but I did read a lot up in America, and they were saying that they'd had a lot of underframes snap with these bolt-on accessories, and I didn't think really anything of it, because you don't know if it's just hearsay or the frame is badly eroded, which, let's face it, any of the old twin shocks or any early monoshocks, you know, we've got a right ingress of water in these areas. We might have the odd hole, but it is downhill, and they do congregate in certain areas, hence we get bullet holes in them when they're rotting, especially on the TLRs. So he bought a set, so what I did, I powder coated them for him the same colour as the frame, so when you bolted them onto the original it matched in, so looks pretty good. So what happens is, he built the bike up, I said it was perfect build for a private team, had a cracking job of it, and off he went. He rode the bike, he fell off it, and it snapped a footrest off. And when I say snap to footrest, I'm on about the frame. So I'll show you that now. I'll turn it over and show you it. Right, so this is it. So there's two pressed out of these frames into it. Starts here as a pressed unit, comes in narrow and joins together, and it holds the brake lever through it here, which sometimes we rebush these. So this is it. So this is the damage. As you can see, it snapped the full original lug off because it's extended to here and it's gone over. Now, if you had to ask me now about it, would I be suspect on them? Yeah, I think I would, because this has just snapped off. Now, you're looking at that picture and you say it's rusty, but 9 times out of 10 when we cut these down at this area, obviously not the head angle how we do them, we do find, you know, water ingress rustiness there. It's 2 plates. So by our means of doing it is when we're cutting them, we're cleaning all this and then we're pushing steel up into here, putting flat plates on, and then putting the beater inner footrest on, and then your footrest peg, which I'll show you in a second. So that snaps straight off. So now, so then you look at the other side, it's got signs of cracking. I mean, it did have signs. When it came in, they've all either been belted here and repaired. But yeah, so that's it. So it just all stripped down again, and that's where we're at. So that could have happened to me, that if if that bike had been traded in with that footrest on, that mod, which I'd have probably said, well, it's not cosmetically pleasing, but you could have bought that off me, and you could have fallen off it and snapped that, and you bring it back in like that, and yeah, you'd have to put your hands up. So I think I've gone off them myself as a restorer. I probably won't advise that anymore, just in case the leverage is the lever, because it's only 2 pressed pieces. Obviously, if you're an engineer, you might have a look at it, put them on and replay it up a little bit, but then you might as well have just gone for a professional modification, which I'll show you now what we do, which you'll have seen many times on the videos. So what I'm going to do today in real time is I'm going to get one of the frames ready, which this is one of, these are ours, but you've seen the modification look. So that's with the beater footrest slid on it. That's it, the plate now, close up, how we put it in. So when we cut it, we've actually got into it, we've taken that down and taken it into there, so it starts here, and then dressed it, then bring it back, then overdressed it at each side, and then you've got to get your cuts perfect, because the beater footrests are angled obviously, but then they fit straight on once you've drilled them, and they fit in place, hence this. So this has just been jigged up and it's level, and they're on and bolted, strengthened again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to whip them off. As you can see, it's obviously ferrousy, so it's flash rusting all over. So I'm going to ultra fine blast this with the correct media, get it clean back. I'll do you a picture of it blasted back. Not blasted, don't like the word blasted. Ultra fine media. And then what we'll do is I'll get this prepped for powder coating. So I'm going to zinc it. So I'll show you it's zinced. And a lot of people, even in the trials game, especially some of the British guys, they really like this zinc colour, because what you could do then with the zinc, you could just clear coat it in powder, and you know it's a cracking finish. So see if I can get a close-up after I've brought it out the oven with zinc on, because once you've zinced something, you know you've kind of like putting a primer undercoat on a door or anything. So it's just part of the process. I zinc everything. So I'll zinc it, then I'll do it in red. It's a bit of a, it's classed as like a Ferrari stoplight red, that. I'll do it in that red. So you'll see me zinking it, then powdering it with a top coat. This has a frame modification, one of ours. We do it completely different. We don't do any of this chomping into here. We alter things off and bring it up and head angle it. But we've got the different degrees, which we think's correct or comfy, especially on our sections around the back. We've got some really tight trees for tuck and everything. But again, some people like them a bit steeper. I suppose it's more skill sets, but you really have to be up on it to notice it. Again, if you're doing this, then usually if you want to perfect it, I mean, we're looking at some custom made swinging arms with, you know, about 15-18 mil extra on them. You can buy kits again, obviously, to weld on your swinging arm, and it's all about, if you've altered something here, you're trying to bring your wheelbase correct back in. But a lot of people just go for this modification, which I think is pretty cool. Personally, I don't really myself see so much, a little bit maybe, but I can obviously bring the forks up a little bit and get myself cheat a bit there. So if people just go for this mod, but this customer, he went for just bolt on, and fantastic, you know. And they look quite good, they look good, but I think in future, 2 and 2 together on this, you know, once we cut into here, we know it's right. But that could have happened to me. I could have traded that bike in now, and you could have bought it off me, and yeah, it's a bit, we'd have to do something about it, because that's not good. So right, next video, into the cabinet, I'll get this blasted, show you it blasted. I won't go through it all, you know what I do. I'll show you it from this close up, just have a close view of this, how it is now. Right, nothing wrong with it. You could actually, this frame's good enough, because it's got nothing on it. We could actually ceramic coat this. So I've ceramic coated loads of these in red as well. The only thing is, as I've said before, I'm not trying to bore you with it all again, but when we're spraying ceramic coating, specialist coatings, of many colours again, you do need there's no undercoat, so the substrate has to be immaculate. So if I was ceramic coating this, I'd blast it, and then I'd belt sand it all and make it as smooth as I can, with the right oxide to get this finish, so when you paint it, it looks good. If you had that heavy erosion or mottling up here, that's where powder coating and zinking, because you're layer building it a little bit, it can be better for you. So it's one or the other. It's the customer's choice, but it's my choice if I say the frame's not good enough. This would be, but on this occasion we're turning it into that today. So let's get on and get it blasted off, or ultrafine media. So let's have a look. Right, so I've had it in the oven. I did gas it out in the oven. That means we gas it out just to see if anything's inside of it, or moisture or grease. There was nothing, so then I just give it a zinc coat. So what I want to show you with this zinc coat is, as you know, I zinc coat everything, but just look at it as a finish. I tell you what, there's many guys who'd have a bike done in that finish, because I could clear coat lacquer it then in powder or ceramic, but that's it zinc. So it's a good time as well, because it just puts another layer on it. It adds a few bits. The thing I'd say to you is, when I do these like this, you see, when we're putting these beta footrests, because it makes them cosmetically pleasing, and the strengthening of it all, and you know, the snapping of this frame. What I suggest, I always do this, I always make it so I put the zinc on, and then I just have a bit of drag value, and then I know that when I put the top coat on in red, or any colour, it's perfect they just fit nice and snug. Because as you know, powder coating, I always go on about, it's like getting in the bath with your wellies on. It doesn't really tax my brain much, but the preparation does. It's how you prep, like anything, preparation. So this is a frame one of ours modified as well. So that's something that you can see there's a little bit in there, right? Now what you got to remember is, we're allowing for a little bit. Some of these footrests don't really vary, but what we're trying to do is, this hasn't got no zinc on, so the time it has the zinc on, it still fits snug if you bolted that on. Then a top coat of red, but another close-up look at that frame, you know, it just seals everything in. Again, you can look round it. If there's anything on it, any bad stuff, we could at this stage just give it a flick off and a look round, but that's the shine it comes out with. When I coat these with a powder lacquer, they look amazing. In fact, I think I've got a guy on a British bike who wants this colour, and then I've got another guy who's building a special. I think he's going to go for this colour on the frame. As I said, when it's got the clear coat on it, it really seals it in. So I'll get changed into a boiler suit, and we'll get this fired up and get this coated. I'll just show you me flashing it off with powder going onto it, and then we'll get this cured with about 185 for once it's up to temp, and then a curing time which isn't long. We'll pull it out when it's cooled down. I should be able to, on this video, show you it finished and got it back to this. So we'll have a final look at the little chopper Raleigh bike and a few fits I've done on that, and see you in a second. Right, so we're out the oven. Red powder coating, if you want to have a quick look at it. Close up, it's like glass. Look how smooth it is. Right the way around it. Over the top, down to the new footrest. And as I said, we're just making it so it's just that little bit. They just go on just nice and tight like that, look. So that's that done. All done, that frame done with the modified footrest and headstock. Again, back to this young man's footrest with these extenders. I think I'm going to put my hand up now and say possibly because they're a pressed steel together, that's maybe not such a good idea. So yeah, that's the extenders on the TLR 200. I mean, there's plenty more extenders, but I think it's the concept of this frame. It's going to get trouble. So a nasty job that. That is a big job to repair as well. So back to the frame, it looks lovely. That's, you know, it's worth the time and zinking how it's sat on there. Powder coat, remember I've sieved that again, that powder. And there's no orange peel in it, there's nothing. Again, one close-up look again on that. It's total glass, look. Fantastic. So we're finishing off. Got the chopper wheel, got the forks done. Obviously you can see that beginning at video, she was well out. Just a bit of patience again, pulling it in so it didn't twang back out. So it means now when customer undoes it, goes out and goes straight back in again. So that's great. So that's his frame finished. Ready to go to a paint, because as I say, it's going on a Raleigh colour, not specialist ceramic coating. But if you can have a really close look at that now and all the bracing, there's nothing on it. It's absolutely smooth as anything. Same as the chain guard, all the bracing highlighted. Really happy with that, but I knew it would be. And that's the usual standard of the powder coating, but glass looks good, zinc coated. So again, we're in Scarborough, North Yorkshire, 01723 370 399. You can get me after 3 o'clock if you want to speak to me when I start to put some machinery down so I can hear things and get into the office. But till the next one, appreciate you watching, comments, fantastic, and see you soon.